welcome to Hampden Park for England's trip to play Scotland here. It's a great atmosphere. There's at least 50-60,000 inside Hampden Park this afternoon. It's a throwback to the olden days of football from a bygone era. England versus Scotland is always a huge pleasure, and for the first time ever, the JB Cleric YouTube channel is proud to bring you this traditional match live, and of course for free. Quite a number of England fans in the ground, but there's a lot are going to be cheering for the Tartan Army this afternoon. Nice and sunny up in Glasgow this evening. Should be quite a momentous afternoon. England won the first match 3-0 at Wembley back in earlier on in the season, so it's a chance now for Scotland to really get some payback time this evening. Some marvellous occasions for this game. Harry Kane, in fact, captaining England tonight. And there's the Scotland side. Scott Brown is the captain, and he will lead the Scots out onto the field, and we'll try and give you one or two of the names that you might not be familiar with as the evening goes on. It's a marvellous occasion for this game. Going to be watched by quite a number of people around the world, of course, as well today. And of course, there behind him in goal, Gary Cahill, I should say, behind him too. We'll give you the lineups as well as soon as the anthems and stuff have been in the tunnel here at Hampden Park. But we will give you the lineups as well as we go in. Jake Livermore's also in there too. Lee Griffiths is also fit for Scotland this afternoon. So plenty of great team news. And as the teams now emerge from the tunnel, or about to emerge here from the tunnel, tremendous atmosphere. Eric Dyer going through, Kyle Walker getting the right back spot, and Trippier. A marvellous occasion, and there comes the two teams, and the Hampden Roar greets them now. Scotland in the dark shirts, England in red. And this really is a real atmosphere to beat all of us. Scotland against England, just like it used to be. Before we give you the two lineups, and before kick-off, across from me from the far side is a huge Scotland flag, the white cross with the blue background. But first of all, we're going to hear the anthems as Gordon Strachan makes his way out onto the touchline there. Shakes hands with his English counterparts. And now we're going to have the anthems, starting with England's national anthem. And now it's time for the Flower of Scotland, the Scottish national anthem, and it will be sung surely with great gusto. Well, the noise and the tension levels have certainly been turned up a few notches there. Well, rousing rendition of Fire of Scotland. England against Scotland just moments away, so we'll give you an opportunity now to give you the two teams. Starting with Scotland, of course, we're going to go through it from the old. We're going to go through the 11s. Gordon in goal, then it's Tierney, Berra, Charlie Mulgrew, Neil Robertson, Andy Robertson, of Hull City, Scott Brown, Morrison, Robert Snodgrass of West Ham, Armstrong, Anya, and Lee Griffiths of Celtic, one of the top scorers for them this season. On the substitutes bench, Baldy Scotts, David Marshall, the goalkeeper, James MacArthur, Stephen Naismith, Barry Bannon, Stephen Fletcher of Sheffield Wednesday, James Forrest of Celtic, the two Martins, Fraser, Martin who wears number 18, Martin who wears number 19, Fraser number 20, Hamilton 21, Kearney 22, and Reynolds 23. The Scottish substitutes, in fact, for England, Joe Hart in goal, Kyle Walker, Chris Smalling, Gary Cahill and Ryan Burton at the back four, Dyer, Livermore, Dele Alli and Adam Lallana on the midfield three, with Rashford and Kane up front. Kane in actual fact getting the nod up front. Getting the nod really as captain, I should say. The referee today from Italy, Paolo Tagliabento, and we're all set to go. Scotland against England, always a huge occasion, and a huge occasion for that man there, Harry Kane. A marvellous moment in his career. Scott Brown, of course, the Scottish captain, and Hampden Park absolutely and in fact we're going to have a moment's silence now in memory, of course, of the sad events, as you know, from Manchester and of course last week in London, as football once again pays its respects to those who sadly passed away in Manchester and London in the last couple of weeks. Well, you could barely hear a pun drop for that minute or two silence. It was very well received. A few people shaking their heads really as to why those silly atrocities happened. Let's just hope that, and I'm sure the people, families of those who were whose lives were cruelly taken out by those silly terrorists, they'll want everything to go as normal and stay defiant to those who intend on harming everybody. But it's back to the football now. It's England to get us underway. There's Anna Lallana. We'll give you the England lowdown on the England substitutes in just a moment or two here at Hampden. So it's going to be England to get us underway, and they're going to attack the goal to my right. We're the opposite end to the tunnel, the camera angle to what it usually would be on the TV, but we are sort of opposite the tunnel as we get underway. Then England in red, and an early clearance there charged down by Lee Griffiths of Celtic. Scotland, as I say, in the dark shirts, the traditional colours with the white trim. There's Ryan Burton there, the left back for England, getting his first touch. So a tremendous atmosphere here inside this tremendous ground. It used to hold something over 125,000 people back in its day. And then obviously the Taylor report meant it had to go all-seater. Here's Kyle Walker down the right-hand side for England. Walker goes inside one player and another. Now a chance here for England to try and exploit some early dominance. They are going to be red hot favourites, but with Scotland, their Tartan army, fanatics of supporters behind them, who knows what might happen. Scotland haven't beaten England at this ground since 1985, when Richard Gough got the winner in a 1-0 success over England. Since then they've really failed to beat their old enemy. As Kyle Walker went in hard there on the Scottish player, which is Morrison. But there was nothing given there. James Morrison, of course, of West Bromwich Albion. It's had a good season for them. Last time we covered him and his West Brom side, it was a 2-2 draw at Burnley. Entertaining 1-2. Smalling now inside the centre circle. Harry Kane, of course, making the captain's armband his own. Gordon Strachan said in the build-up that he'd rather be in an orangutan safari park than to be at Hampden Park today, which I think is quite an outrageous statement for him to make. That was said in the build-up for the game. Free kicking back has gone to Scotland just inside their own half. And you're welcome, of course, you listeners, to comment during the game if you're a Scotland fan or an English fan or just a mutual football fan. Let me know in the comments below. No swearing, no hurtful comments, just comments about the game, and please no swearing and no calling anybody out. We don't want to see that on the channel. We are a family show. 2.5 minutes gone. England 0, Scotland 0, England 0 in the sunshine as Dyer gets that forward for England, and that's going to run straight forward there. Scott Brown back out of retirement. In fact, he's got the first yellow card. I think the referee must have well, it was a foul here on Dele Alli, or right through the back of him. Well, we know that Brown's going to be in business now throughout this 90 minutes or so, but now he has to play at least 88 and a bit minutes with a yellow card on his name. I thought the referee was a little bit harsh there to book him, but I'm sure he will referee the game, the Italian ref, in the spirit that it will deserve. And here comes Scotland now on the break with Snodgrass midway inside the half. I thought he was tugged down, but the referee wasn't interested. Here's Eric Dyer now, deep inside his own half for England, getting the ball forward, up towards Marcus Rashford. Harry Kane, in fact, 17 counts for England, 5 goals. There's Gordon Strachan. I'm just seeing him now. He said he would have been in an orangutan safari park. Well, he's come up with some outrageous statements since he became a manager all those years ago, started at Coventry City when they were perennial Premier League strugglers, but always punched above their weight. Then he went to Southampton. He's always been box office wherever he's been, Gordon Strachan, as a manager, in terms of quotes and quips and all sorts of things. And Scotland now try to come forward there. Another long goal kick there, and be a chase on here. For Bertrand, he hooks it out, but it's a throw level with the English penalty area on the far side of Scotland. Joe Hart there wearing a cap there because he knows that the sun will be right in his eyes for the first 45 minutes or so this afternoon. Scotland throw to be taken on the far side. I think it's Anya who's going to take it. Snodgrass offering some support down that far flank. It's in towards Lee Griffiths inside the penalty area. Now Brown takes it up. And now a chance here for Scotland to really try and exploit something now with Andy Robertson on the near side. Robertson cuts inside, finds Scott Brown. Brown touches it back. Morrison chips it out towards Anya on the far side. Anya tries to control, but in the end Lallana getting that one away. Oh, a little bit loose there from Manuel Lallana, the Liverpool man, but he got away with it. Here's a chance now for Eric Dyer to get it away, but it's Scotland now starting to ask 1 or 2 questions. And here they are on the ball straight away. Scott Brown, the Celtic man, playing it out towards the far side. Now, can Anya get the ball in? Brown wanting it about 35 yards out. Here's a chance now for Snodgrass. Snodgrass turning Dele Alli this way and that. Anya now will get the crossing. Deflects off the defender, which was Dele Alli, and it will be the first corner of the game for Scotland. That's good. That's a good start there from Gordon Strachan's men. And they know if they can get right on top of England at the start of this match, They've got every chance in the world. Charlie Mulgrew forward from the back, former Celtic man, of course, and pointing forward there. Pointing forward, of course. Mulgrew is a very tricky customer from set places. Scottish supporters will only know too well. Former Aberdeen man, started his career at Aberdeen. Ball played in towards the near post. Snodgrass again will get it back this time round. Far side, and then the ball hooked back, and then the shot coming in from about 20 yards, just to the right from Lee Griffiths, and it's straight into the arms of Joe Hart, who's been, who from all accounts has been committing 1 or 2 clangers over in Italy this season, but yet still maintains the #1 spot, although Jack Butland is now back from injury and doing himself no harm at all with his performances since returning for Stoke City. And here comes Scotland again. They're really asking some questions. This is Andy Robertson on the left hand side. Robertson has to pirouette, plays it in towards Brown. Brown 10 yards inside his own half, plays it out to the far side, and then the ball goes out of play, and it will be an English throw. Let's go Southgate, England manager. Really tough thing he's got going there. Just to bring you up to speed rather, with the substitutes in just a second or two. Berra and Anya are in, and Griffiths is fit, and Jake Livermore in for his second England start in all. Other games taking place: Azerbaijan 0, Northern Ireland 0, Kazakhstan 0, Denmark 0, and Slovenia 0, Malta 0. To come at 7:45, Germany San Marino, Norway against the Czech Republic, Montenegro against Armenia, Poland against Romania, and Lithuania against Slovakia. And England have it now with Cahill, goes over the halfway line. Cahill plays it forward in towards the path of Dele Alli. Dele Alli does well, finds Harry Kane, but Dele Alli says I'll have that and tries to play the ball through. England keeping possession rather well with Dyer, then to the far side, and now can England exploit something here in the opening stages of this game? And here they come again, and that's good play from England, but again well snuffed out there by the Scots on the edge of their own penalty area. And we'll bring you the English substitutes in just a moment, because Scotland are on the break with Brown. Brown plays it out towards the near side, but he can't find anybody in a dark blue shirt, and it's out for a throw, I think. Indeed it is, and no harm done. And still 0-0 at the moment. And it's England on the attack here. Still no goals at this moment in time, as Ali plays it out to the far side. Ali towards the far side, keeps it going, and out of play is, I think, yes, Lallana couldn't keep that one in play, so it will be a throw. 19 minutes have elapsed, and Scotland have a throw, and England now going forward once again towards that the centre circle. And here comes Scotland now, breaking forward with Andy Robertson now. 10 minutes gone, cross there, charged down by Walker. It's a corner kick to Scotland, but Andy Robertson there making a good break, and again gives Scotland another opportunity to exploit England here from this corner. They've started really well, the Gordon Strachan's men. Lee Griffiths is going to take it near side, plenty forward in the dark blue of Scotland. Griffiths with his right foot in towards the 6-yard area, and then the ball hooked back over the top of his own crossbar by Chris Smalling from just around the penalty spot area, and Scotland causing 1 or 2 problems for that English defence at this precise moment in time. Griffiths to try again. Can he lay it in with his left foot? Towards the penalty area it will go. Left footed in towards the 6-yard box. Headed out once again by England. Still Scotland have it. And the ball again played towards Lee Griffiths. Away by Walker, but Griffiths has got possession of the ball. Now Snodgrass, left hand side. Snodgrass looking maybe to get a crossing opportunity in. He does so. Towards the back post. Headed away by England. And hooked away once again. Brown will get the possession and will get Scotland a throw. And the Scottish supporters right up for this one. There's no two ways about that. And Ashley Mottram saying that England are trying to dominate the ball. Scotland trying to be very direct and counter-attack. Well, that is the case. But here comes Scotland again on the far side. Cross needed to be good one man, yeah, but again, England, well, they conceded a needless corner here. Kyle Walker, I think he knew there was nobody behind him, and in the end gave away a needless corner. It's got the Scotland fans right on their toes now, and it gives a chance for defenders like Charlie Mulgrew and Christophe Berra to come forward from the back, and again Lee Griffiths to take the corner. So 4 corner in total for Scotland. Lee Griffiths of Celtic with the corner in towards the penalty area. There was an England player gone down, but the referee has played on. England do have possession, but it's still deep inside their own half and just simply can't clear their lines. Scotland have really got England on the back foot here, and Gary Cahill and co are really up against it now in that defence. They really are. And good to hear from you, Ashley. Good to know that you're with us. And you're welcome to all to do the same. It's England 0, Scotland 0, if you want to comment on the game so far. Ball back with the goalkeeper, who's not really touched the ball. He kicks right-footed well over halfway. Header won again by Smalling, deep inside his own territory. And then obviously the ball goes back to Joe Hart. We've got a break in play. We'll also keep you up to date with what's happening elsewhere in the world of sport this afternoon. Scott Brown was the yellow card. The only yellow card so far of the match so far. And Northern Ireland have come close. Chris Brunt has come very, very close for Northern Ireland in their match at the moment. But here come England now on the break, deep inside Scotland territory, about 25-30 yards from goal. Here's Livermore. Livermore now trying to turn. Then Dele Alli trying a dummy, which didn't quite come off. And away go Scotland once again. They're really trying to take this game to England. I must say, they've really had a real go at it. And so far, I've come not so very much close, I would suggest, but getting towards that goal. But at the moment it's still 0-0, and well, anything could still happen, that's for sure. Craig Gordon is the goalkeeper for Scotland, incidentally. The substitutes for England, just quickly: Jesse Lingard, Kieran Trippier, Gibson, John Stones, Phil Jones, Jermaine Defoe, Sterling, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Heaton and Butland. And Fraser Forster is the other substitute. So that's a whopping 3 goalkeepers on the England bench. Why they need 3 goalkeepers on the England bench, one hesitates to say, but as Gordon plants another ball forward, out for a throw. So let's just see what's been happening in the world of sport this afternoon, because there's been other events taking place in other sports around the country, and of course across the world. We've got the French Open tennis going on at the moment, the ladies singles final, that's been taking place today. And of course there's been, in the Champions Trophy, there's been England versus Australia. Northern Ireland still goalless, by the way, as England need to chase down 278 to knock Australia actually out of the Champions Trophy at the moment. So but 0-0 there. In the French Open, Ostapenko has won that. She was an unseeded. There's Canadian Grand Prix qualifying, and of course the British Lions beat the Crusaders in the rugby earlier on this afternoon as well, as Scotland tried to play out from the back with Mulgrew, finds Scott Brown in the centre, and he trots towards the halfway line on the right hand side. Mulgrew now in space, round the corner again. Now a chance here for Scotland to really exploit things with Robert Snodgrass, but he's lost out there. Now a chance now for England to break, and a long ball forward, asking a lot of Marcus Rashford that, and he won't get there. It's out for a goal kick on the near side. Incidentally, all the officials tonight come from Italy. 0-0 is the score here at Hampden Park. England are chasing 278. Owen Morgan is at the crease. Let's give you an update in the cricket. As we England at the moment with 30.5 overs gone, or 193 to 3, needing a 278 to win the final ICC Champions Trophy. Australia had earlier made 277 for 9, so England with 19 overs to go need 85 to win up at Edgbaston, down at Edgbaston. Here in Glasgow it's 0-0. So things going well for one English team. Will it go well for another? Or will Scotland come into it? Scotland upset the odds. So far they're doing a very good job, the Scots. They're trying to upset England's flow and get them going again. Still 0-0. Eric Dyer now for England. Infield it goes. Eric Dyer gets it back again. Now Gary Cahill plays it out towards Dyer, then who plays it back to Joe Hart, who's got that baseball cap on top of his head. Eric Dyer now for England, over the halfway line, trots towards the halfway line, finds Dele Alli. Dele Alli plays that ball towards the far side, and the ball ricochets into touch, and it will be a throw for Scotland, or for England, sorry. And now the ball back once again. Still a chance here for Scotland, or for England to exploit, and here's Walker. Walker now running at the defenders. Walker goes past one, or tries to go past one, has to backheel it back, and now Jake Livermore has it deep inside Scotland territory. Still 0-0. Little chip in there towards Harry Kane. Can he turn? Kane with a shot deflected off the defender, and I think England. Is it a corner to England? It looked as if he got a deflection from where I was sitting. Let's have a look at it again. In fact, I think it was an offside decision. Yes, it was offside against Harry Kane inside the area as the ball initially was played, but he took the ball down, killed the ball really well with the left foot. In fact, he didn't deflect anyway off any defender, so either way it wasn't going to be a corner. In fact, he wasn't offside. I think he was onside, in fact. So maybe I was probably. Well, he did look offside on the replay, I have to say. But it went over, so it does go down as a glorious chance for England. Half a chance, but a good chance for the English. But it's still, with 18 minutes just about gone, it's Scotland 0, England 0 in Glasgow. England chasing 278, needing another 85. The Lions winning earlier on against the Crusaders in New Zealand in their tour there, and England have moved on to 194 for 3 in their game. I'll just tell you the scorecard very quickly in a second or two while we've got a breaking play. When we get a breaking play, I should say. Referee is giving a throw here to England on the far side. We will break off. When we get a breaking play, we'll bring you up to date with a full scorecard from Edgbaston from the England batting. As England come forward, the football team that is, come forward, but the Scots again, good determined tackling. Now Walker has it just to the right. Walker now looking for options. Walker plays it into the penalty area. That's too close to the goalkeeper, who takes the ball rather comfortably. Craig Gordon, former Sunderland goalkeeper, started off his career at Hearts and now plays his football for Celtic. So here what's happened, this was what happened in the England innings so far. Roy out, LBW to Mitchell start for 4. Hales went for a duck, caught Finch, bowled Hazelwood. Hazelwood got another one. Joe Root going for 15. Morgan is not out 87. Stokes is not out 85. Morgan needing 13 for his century. Stokes needing the 15 for his century. And that's the way the game is going in the cricket. Now in the tennis, there's been we've had a real shock in the ladies Wimbledon, ladies French Open final. It was a real free-set throw. Meanwhile, free kick to Scotland. It was Yena Oskarenko. She becomes the first woman, in fact, to win the French Open since 1933 with a thrilling 4-6, 6-4, 6-3 victory over the massive favourite Simona Halep at Roland Garros. So, and Nadal and Stan Wawrinka will fight for the men's title tomorrow, but no Andy Murray in that particular final. So that's a big blow. It would have been a great sporting weekend for the Scots, A big win, and a win for Northern Ireland would be terrific for them. A massive opportunity for them, as they are Scotland of course 0-0 here. Northern Ireland, if they can avoid defeat tonight, well, what a shot in the arm for their chances of getting towards Russia next year. It'd be their first, if they were to qualify Northern Ireland, it'd be their first World Cup final since Mexico '86, and it would be a great performance for them to say that they've really done so well at the moment. What Michael McDonald has done for that, what Michael O'Neill has done for that side has been unbelievable. As Scotland get possession deep inside their own territory and hook the ball out of touch for an England throw about 3/4 of the way up the field. Well, 3/4 of the way up the Scotland half. Liverpool to take it. No, he's going to leave it. In fact, it's a bit further. It's a bit nearer the goal than I thought. It's almost over with the penalty area, in fact. So it's Walker back to Livermore on the right hand side. Livermore to play it back to halfway, and Gary Cahill will take it up for England. 21 minutes of the match gone. Half time, no extra time, no golden goal for once as England go forward, and a chance inside the 6-yard box for Harry Kane. Goalkeeper had missed the attempted low cross, and Harry Kane just couldn't get the connecting touch that would have given England lift off here in Glasgow. But it's a little more for England. England now starting to come into it as we go towards the halfway mark of the first half. 22 minutes just over gone. Here's Walker for England. Infield it goes, and then too close again to the goalkeeper Gordon. Kane couldn't get the flick on he needed, and now away comes Scotland again. Browning with a challenge. Remember, he's got to be careful, of course. He's on a yellow card, and you're going through as well. And then the ball back to Joe Hart, who's got the sun in his eyes. I think a free kick has been given to what is he giving here? What's he giving here? Free kick from England, and away we go again. So it's all happening here at Hampden Park. Meanwhile, Northern Ireland being held. Northern Ireland, of course, as I say, being held. As I said, we had 22 minutes here at Hampden. Azerbaijan 0, Northern Ireland 0. And McCoy has been injured out there in Azerbaijan. But Northern Ireland hanging in there. If they can nick a result there tonight, what a performance that could be for them. And Michael O'Neill as well. He will be, I think he'll get the freedom of Northern Ireland and get sort of legendary status like Billy Bingham was all those years ago, glorifying them for 2 consecutive World Cups in '82 and '86. What a job he did, Billy Bingham. Here's Kyle Walker now towards the penalty area. Again, Scotland getting bodies in the way. This time Tierney looking it out, and it will be a corner now. This was the opportunity here. Lallana had ghosted in there, got a ball back, and Kane just couldn't dig the ball out. So Lallana did terrifically well. Good play by the Liverpool man. Goalkeeper will be disappointed there, but he's got away with one there. But it's an English corner then. 24 minutes gone. Can England get themselves in front? It's Marcus Rashford to take it with his right foot. Rashford in towards the penalty area goes. In towards the 6-yard box. A little bit of a crowd scene and a pinball. And the ball was just bobbing around like a pinball inside the pinball machine. And Scotland just about getting that one away. Here's Livermore for England. 5 yards inside the half, and still the game now just being slowed down to walking pace here. Here's Walker now to Smalling. Now Smalling back to Walker once again. Scotland getting behind their side. Know that they need that 12th man, the Tartan Army, on side to try and give themselves that little bit of a lift. A win for Scotland would really still boost their chances of qualifying, probably albeit through the playoffs. And again, the challenge is flying in. Lallana involved this time. Brown has got to watch himself, I think. Otherwise, he might get the red card. Can't afford to get sent off. And, well, Scott Brown's challenge was warranted, although under the laws of the game, or maybe the referee was probably a bit hasty to give out the yellow card, but it was a bad challenge. Joe Hart hasn't had any significant saves to make so far, just the one opportunity and half chance from 20 yards from Lee Griffiths so far. That's been the only thing that Scotland have really offered. They've had plenty of corners, that have not really done much else with it, but they're still fighting in there against the English, and this was always going to be a tough old match for England, this one. Here's Walker on the right hand side. Walker now running at the defender, still will cut inside. Walker trying to thread that through. I wouldn't give you a bit better advice to put the ball in the penalty area, to be quite honest with you. Masuri 15 game, I mean, it says this game is dead. Well, it's not dead in the sense that the atmosphere and the passion is very much alive. He says hi. Well, I say well, good afternoon to you, or good evening I should say. It's about 5:30 here, coming up towards half an hour, but stay with it, Masuri. First half, goalkeeper there, almost dropping a real clanger there as Lee Griffiths came in to charge that one down. I tell you what, Joe Hart will not have that freedom, that's for sure. Lee Griffiths will not give him that, that's for sure. But stay with it, Masuri. First half can be a little bit dull, but then the second half usually becomes a real cracker. Sometimes football is a bit like that. But for the commitment and the passion and the drama of it all, still very much alive. We've had a couple of chances, but it just needs the first goal to go in. England have brought something like 5,000 or 6,000 down up from the south of the border. Of course, Bucky's making England very much odds-on favourites, but that will suit Scotland being the underdogs, especially with the Tartan army behind them. But here's Dele Alli bundling towards the penalty area. Good tackle there, terrific tackle there by Berra. Did really well there, stood on his feet and absolutely stopped him. Really was good defending there by the Scottish defence, because Dele Alli is a tricky little customer. He's a cool and tricky, slippery kind of guy, and he's got all the skills, the rainbow of skills to match it. Wales have got a much bigger game against Serbia. Well, they need to win that one to keep their chances alive. They're without Gareth Bale, of course. That takes place tomorrow. No, not Republic play on the same night as well, and they could do their chances a huge boost with that one. But Wales without Taylor for 2 games, with that horrid challenge you may remember there on Seamus Coleman when we last covered the goalkeeper desperately out of his goal, and he headed it forward, and then a little chip back and off the line by Scotland, and still not away yet, and Rashford might shoot now for England, and he proves just wide with his right foot from just outside the penalty area inside the D. But Craig Gordon then taking a huge risk coming off his line, heading the ball out, but no, he didn't get it far. Kane then chipped the ball goalwards from the left-hand side, about 40 yards out. Then Scotland, Robertson didn't clear his irons, and then just from the edge of the 18-yard box inside the D, in fact, it got a deflection Rashford shot. Corner's been taken short, in fact. Back to Rashford. Rashford now with his right foot, cuts inside, will cross with his left. No, he won't. He'll stim me, and now cross with his right. Gets a deflection. It's a corner, and it will be a corner off Anya, I think. And it will be an opportunity here for England to exploit. Are you streaming the Welsh game? We'll have to see. It all depends on kick-off time and one thing or another. We'll bring you news of that tomorrow. But let's think about tonight at the moment. Northern Ireland, as things stand, are 0-0 in Azerbaijan, and here it's 0-0. These are the early kick-offs, of course. But one thing's for certain: Wales are going to be up against it tomorrow night in Serbia. Another corner. In fact, referee stopped it. There's a player gone down. It's Charlie Mulgrew, who's lying prostrate on the ground. Is he okay? I think he's going to be okay. He's a tough fella. Blackburn Rovers, of course. I don't like to mention their names, of course. Brought down Smalling. Or Smalling brought him down. Or was it more of a coming together? I can't tell, but it was a drop ball, and Scotland were allowed to get on with it, and now they're playing back to Joe Hart, to a chorus of boos. Gareth Southgate having a word with the fourth official out there on the far side. We played about 30 and a half minutes now of the first half at Hampden, and it's Scotland 0, England 0. And of course, as for all our live matches, we'll take a 5-10 minute break at half time, bring you up to date with what's been happening. Of course, there's the cricket still going on at Edgbaston between England and Australia, and England now had two good men in Ian Morgan and one or two others as well. Ben Stokes was definitely in. But what the Scots will do, they'll make it difficult for England. They have to. They are the inferior side, and that's always a tough old thing to exploit. And Gareth McCauley is gone out. Just to let you know that 207 for 4 now in the cricket for England, and the latest man to have gone was Ian Morgan. He was run out for 87 by Zampa, but England, you still think, would still win from here. They need 71 runs to win from just over 15.3 overs. Back in the game here at Hampden Park. We'll keep you up to date with the cricket. Any cricket fans in there will keep you up to date with what's happening in the cricket. England going forward here in this World Cup qualifier. Kane towards, ball played in towards the penalty area, but hacked away by Scotland. Still 0-0. And it's out for an English roll deep inside their own half. 32 minutes gone. England needed 71 to beat Australia, another enemy in sporting terms, and another big game. It wouldn't win for England in the cricket would see Australia knocked out of the Champions Trophy. Ball back with Joe Hart. Hart finding Livermore. Livermore now charging towards the halfway line. Now plays it out towards Dele Alli. Dele Alli playing it out to the far side here. England really going for the cutthroat here. Can they press the Scotland defence? Crossing from the left hand side. It's a poor one really. Dressed in and out, wouldn't find the likes of Rashford, and it was Adam Lallana who chipped it in. It was a poor cross by the Liverpool man, and impacting, as it turns out, it will be a goal kick to Scotland, which will suit them right down to the ground. A lot of people I spoke to in the week predicting the scores. Saying you're going to watch the game, and do you think England have got a chance? Do you think England will walk it? Do you think? A lot of people think it's going to be a landslide England victory, but they said that about Conservatives winning a landslide in the general election, and well, Jeremy Corbyn didn't let Theresa May have it all her own way, although annoyingly she will keep number 10. But Corbyn didn't make it easy for her, as Berra clips that out of touch, and it will be a throw level with the penalty area for England. Deep inside Scotland territory. Still Scotland 0, England 0 is the score at a very raucous and very jam-packed Hampden Park. It's a throwback to the old days, this game. Really is a throwback. Throwback Saturday we call it, as the ball comes forward and it's straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, Craig Gordon. England, of course, have a friendly to finish the season on Wednesday night in Paris against the French. There's Charlie Mulgrew there running on my picture. Still 0-0 at the moment, and that ball back with Craig Gordon, who may well need a cap himself in the second half if the sun is anything to go by. Joe Hart not taking any risks there, the sun right in his eye. And that's the sort of occasion this game is going to be. England 0, Scotland 0 as we come up towards the final 10 minutes of the first half. And it's been a great first half. And well, it's been a remarkable game so far, to say that there's been no goals. There's certainly been plenty of drama, plenty of incident, and plenty of this and plenty of that. It's been non-stop, a million miles an hour action, but no real great opportunities. Although England have had one headed off the line by Harry Kane. Here's Robertson now for Scotland, trying to get something going. Now the ball gets played to the far side. can Anya make something of it on the far side? He's then bundled out of it by two England defenders, fairly said the referee. And here's Rashford running through the centre. Rashford running at three Scottish defenders. He's got Kane to the left and Ali to the right. Ali now will keep it towards the byline, and then the ball comes out. It was Dele Alli back to making the charge, and then Rashford peeled out to the right. But it will be a corner. But some very stout Scottish defending, I have to say, and when they've needed to here. Rashford here just muscled out of it by their number 2 here. This is great defending. Stays on his feet. That's good classic defending. A real throwback to the olden days. And I have to say, Marcus Rashford, I haven't had much chance to, in fact it was a goal kick, in fact the referee had given it. It looked as if it was a corner, and to huge cheers of approval from the Scots. England have given possession away cheaply because it's been knocked out of play. So Morrison takes possession for Scotland. Back to Robertson. Now Brown has it. Brown will play it out to the far side. Anya will wait on that far side. He will. Bambera's pass. Now Anya. Anya now looking to get something going for Scotland. Snodgrass has it over on the far side. The former Hull City man now playing his trade at West Ham United. And here comes Scotland once again. Their tails really up for it as the shot comes in, or the attempted cross comes in, and he's straining the arms of goalkeeper Hard from Tierney. A good purposeful run there. He had Robertson on the left hand side as an overlap, but decided to go in there. But that's got the Scots roaring with delight again. Remember, England now chasing down 278 to win the Champions Trophy match, a game that could see Australia exit the competition before the semi-finals, and you don't usually see that often from Australia, although 2 of their matches have been washed out due to the good old British rain. And the latest score we have in the cricket is 270. Is it 207 for 4? Well, Stokes is not out 88, Butler not out on 17. And the ball over on the far side, it's a Scottish roll. So we'll keep you up to date with the cricket. And we'll keep you up to date with what's happening at half time in the Northern Ireland game, where 0-0, but Gareth McCauley, one of their star players, has gone, or has retired, with an injury. And here comes Rashford out for the throw. Tierney conceding that throw. He's putting a real shift for the Scots this afternoon. This afternoon, I should say. Here's Rashford. He's going to leave it to Kyle Walker. Walker goes short to Livermore, chests the ball down and then left-footed, plays it back to Walker. Right-hand side, Rashford wins the throw again. I have to say, the Scots have been right up for it. Remember, only the one yellow card so far in this game, and that was to, Scott Brown, after 2.5 minutes. But it's England now trying to ask some questions here of this Scottish defence, and Brown rather fairly and rather casually, I have to say, stayed on his feet and took the ball well. Now Morrison has it for Scotland. Lays it out towards the far side, but again, really good defending. And here's Dele Alli taking it up now at the other end for England. Trying to play Harry Kane in on the far side. Kane faced by Berra and by Anya. Cross deflects off Anya on the far side. Still in play for England. Kane plays it back. Infield to Lallana. Lallana, left-hand side of the penalty area. Shoots into the side netting. Half the ground forward had gone in. But to a lot of ironic cheers from the Scots, it went into the side netting. Turnberry this way and that. Gets his shot in left foot. The goalkeeper beaten here. But if you're watching it at home, it hits the side of the net. The left-hand end as we look. In fact, Craig Gordon got a touch. It is a corner. Couldn't tell. We have the sun in our eyes here at Hampden Park. England, in fact, attacking their fans behind Craig Gordon's goal. Corner in towards the 6-yard box. Punched away by Gordon. Only as far as Livermore, but then England have to get it back, and they'll have to knock it back to Kyle Walker once again. And we're inside the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time here at Hampden. We're looking forward to a second half, which surely will be as just hopefully as following and intriguing as the first, but hopefully with some much open game between two sides that really need to win for the same reason. England really to keep their grip at the top of the table, Scotland really in it to stay in it, so really different reasons really. As Walker comes forward for England, has to knock it down towards the far side. It wasn't the best ball he's played, and as you can probably tell in the background, the ironic cheers of the Scottish fans tells you that Bertrand couldn't keep that in play. Scotland 0, England 0. Gareth Southgate looking on rather timidly here. Knows this is going to be a tough old match. And here comes Scotland once again, with Robertson winning the next one. Here he is, getting the ball once again. Robertson playing it back towards Lee Griffiths. Now we're going to see Morrison now take on the defenders. And here's Robertson from the left hand side in towards the penalty area, but again England just dealing with that situation as best as they can, and Dele Alli doing well, turning nicely, trying to find Rashford on the near side I should say. Can't keep that in play. Scottish throw, and Scotland get on with it straight away. This is a real million miles an hour game this now. Good quality football from both sides now as we come towards half time. The game really starting to pick up the pace. Scotland 0, England 0 here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. World Cup Qualifier. England top of their group. Scotland really needing the win to stay in with a shout of reaching these playoffs come October time. Looking to qualify for their first World Cup since 1998, France 98. But it's England on the attack, crossing from the far side from Adam Lallana, knocked away again by Tierney, who's had an absolute outstanding first half, the Scotland defender. He really has, he's done terrifically well. And England still have possession from the throw-in, and it's Walker now to Dele Alli. Dele Alli pirouettes away from a couple of Scottish defenders, takes them out of the game momentarily. Now Dyer plays it into the penalty area. Plenty of players back there for Scotland though to deny England from going any further forward. And here come England once again. Just starting to ask one or two questions here all of a sudden. Shot coming in from Livermore, and he struck it with his left foot to the right of the penalty area, and it must have swerved a bit because it caught Craig Gordon unawares then, and Gordon had to flip it over the top of the bar, even though it was straight at him. And in fact he probably fumbled that. He had to take no chances, he had to just punch it over the top. And it's an England corner. Marcus Rashford to take it from the near side once again. An England goal now would certainly settle a few nerves as half time looms very large here. Scotland 0, England 0. Rashford just about ready to float the corner into the penalty area towards the back post. Nobody attacking it again, which is a real frustration, and Tierney getting it away. Still 0-0. England really winning those, starting to get in there, but there's a Scottish player down injured, and it's going to be a yellow card to huge roars from the Scottish supporters to Jake Livermore. Second yellow card of the contest, one each now for both England and Scotland. And yes, it was late on Robert Snodgrass in the centre of the park there. Well, it's not, in terms of chances and goal mouth activity, there's not been too much in the way of clear-cut opportunities or any excitement, but certainly in terms of entertainment inside the park and the battles in the midfield, it's been a very intriguing first 45 minutes thus far. Plenty for Gareth Southgate and co to completely and utterly ponder there. Gordon Strachan will be the more happier, I would suspect, of the two managers at this precise moment in time. But it's Bertrand to take the throw. 10 seconds to go to the end of the formal regulation 45, and then it'll be down to the fourth official should he decide to add on much stoppage time. I don't think we've had too much in the way of stoppage time. In fact, we played just over 6 seconds, and that's enough for the Italian referee to blow for half time. Harry Kane with the best chance after the goalkeeper had headed away, and then he tried to chip Gordon, which he did, but there was 2 Scots on the line who duly cleared it off the line. Livermore's tested the goalkeeper. So far, Joe Hart hasn't had much to do so far in the game. So at the moment it's 0-0, but there's still a long way to go. It's not been a classic first half, but many a second half has been better than the first, one has got to say. So stay with it, because I think the second half may well be a much more better affair. But I'll leave you now for 5 minutes. We'll bring you up to date with what's happening elsewhere in about 5 or 10 minutes time. But the score here at Hampden Park is Scotland 0, England 0, and we'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes for the second half. So stay with us. Welcome back to the Scotland-England match here at Hampden Park, the World Cup Qualifier, 0-0 at half-time as we wait for the teams to emerge. Welcome back. England England need 38 to win from 9.4 overs, but I think the rain has stopped play there at Edgbaston, so we'll keep you up to date with what's gone on there. The English and British and the Irish Lions won earlier today. So the Duck was levels par score. England well ahead now, so it looks as if we're going to have an England victory then if the rain doesn't relent. Stokes not out at 102. Josh Butler out, not out for 129. Earlier Morgan and scored 87. Root was out for 15. Hales went for 0, and Royal was LBW. And Mitchell start for 4. The Scotland fans now in full cry, in full voice, and why not? Tremendous occasion. They're holding England here at 0-0 as we're ready and waiting to get this second half underway. England in fact now in the tunnel here at Hampden Park. And as the players now emerge from the tunnel. It used to be an every year job, this. Not anymore, it isn't. Which is a shame really, because from a retro point of view you want the international games to keep going. As Scotland changed, James Morrison has been replaced by James MacArthur. So, a real change there as MacArthur of Crystal Palace comes on to replace James Morrison. England unchanged from the first half as Lee Griffiths and Scott Brown prepare to get this second half away. Scotland now attacking the goal to our right, England to the left. So the Scottish now attacking the end where the England supporters are based. Right behind their team here at Hampden, and it's always a raucous atmosphere, even with only 50-odd thousand inside Hampden Park. The attendance has been restricted somewhat over the years, and away we go then. Scotland then getting us away. 45 minutes plus stoppage time to go, and England really being held by a never say die Scottish side who have really done their really best at the moment. Remember, England went to Spaywith to Winter Park back in 2005 when they were trying to qualify for the 2006 World Cup, and a late David Healy goal beat them there that night, which was sort of the beginning of the end for Sven-Göran Eriksson as England manager. It was one of the results that sort of, even though they went on to qualify okay, it sort of ended Sven's good run in qualifying for that particular tournament. James MacArthur in fact wears 13 as we've now played a minute of the second half. Scotland 0, England 0 is the score. Harry Kane has come possibly close as Livermore has had a shot in late on in that move which went wide. But at the moment it's still 0-0. And remember the rain stop play in the cricket. Here's Scott Brown to Anya on the near side this time as we go into the second half. MacArthur has his first touch inside the centre circle, has to play it back to Berra, who in turn plays it back to Craig Gordon. No cap for him I don't think in the second half. But the sun has gone in here at Hampden Park and it looks quite grey now, as it does at Edgbaston, as we say. As I said, the British and Irish Lions won their warm-up match against the Crusaders. No tries scored, but they won comfortably as Scotland come forward once again. Ball played in towards the penalty area now. What an opportunity now, but it's out for the goal kick. Andy Robertson making that dart down the left-hand side. Goal kick. That was better actually from Scotland. Really good move, but good discipline defending there by Kyle Walker. He's just kept his Tottenham colleague out. Kieran Trippier out of the England 11. There have been murmurs of him moving on to Manchester City during the summer window when that opens in just over a month's time. Just a slight note as well, we'll have a special programme on the fixtures on Wednesday, where we'll bring you up to speed with who Burnley might have on opening day. So watch out for that one. And of course, myself and Matt Corritt will do a special LTF summing up how Burnley have done this season. So watch out for all that amongst my channel and Matt Corritt 94's channel, and of course we'll stream some really good stuff for you during the summer as well on his channel as well as mine. But it's 0-0 here at the moment, as we now go into the second half, which could have a huge bearing on what happens here. England needing the win obviously to stay at the top of the qualifying group, and Scotland needing results for purely and simply other reasons. So it's everything to play for here as we go into this second half then. And hopefully the game will come as a spectacle. So far it hasn't exploded, but as I said, many a good dull first half has been livened up by a really good second. Let's hope we get that this afternoon. As Rashford now, or Robert, Dele Alli backed one forward, but he's lost out, and nice little dummy there which finds Scott Brown. Scott Brown deep inside his own territory, almost shoved Robertson down the river. In fact, he has done. Rashford has nipped in there for England, and it was a good tackle there by Robertson, retreating back, that stopped him from going any further forward. In fact, it was Kyle Walker who made the dash. You are welcome to comment like Masuri has done, like Ashley Mottram has already done. It's a throw in fact to England. Can England get themselves in front, or will it be the turn of the Scots to take their opportunities? It's a corner over on the far side. Now an opportunity knocks here for England, plenty forward. Remember, the rain stopped playing the cricket, as the corner will come in from the far side. Right footed in towards the 6-yard box, headed out again, this time by the Scots. It was MacArthur who defended very well at the near post. Now Walker has it. Walker trying to cut inside and then gets away. It's back to his Liverpool shot, deflected, and it's hit the post and still comes away. It might drop for Dele Alli. It might drop for Eric Dyer. Couldn't get his shot off. The shot then gets a deflection, and then it's come off. It was Gary Cahill's left-footed shot that got the deflection, but it was Jake Livermore here with the shot. Deflection off the outside of the post. It was Jake Livermore's shot, right-footed, gets a deflection, wrong foots the goalkeeper, and hits the outside of the post. Gareth Southgate knew that was close. England so close to going in front, but it is a corner to England, putting pressure now on the Scots. Rashford to take corners. Why he's taking corners I don't know, because he's not really renowned as a corner taker. Hasn't put too many good deliveries in there, but he has put a good delivery in there, and the goalkeeper needed to fist that one away, and Lee Griffiths having to defend there, getting it away and getting it forward. And Scotland now on the counter attack, but they haven't got too many men forward in the dark blue shirts, but they've kept possession now, although they will allow England and their defenders to file back, of course, or forward for the corner. It was like one Scotsman against 3 Englishmen. It just didn't seem as if the Scotland counter-attack had any legs in it, but it's still got possession here with Anya on the halfway line. Right hand side, little shimmy and dummy. Finds Scott Brown. Brown turns it back. And we'll be on until around about 7 o'clock tonight. And then we might consider another looking at the Welsh game tomorrow as a commentary game, because it's a big game for them in their qualification. And then on Wednesday night, hopefully we'll be able to bring you full uninterrupted coverage of England against the French from Paris. But and then that concludes most of our commentaries. We'll be looking at the Confederations Cup as well, amongst other things. So we could have still plenty of good football over the summer. There's the Women's World European Championships as well to look forward to. Panini for the first time today has come on and said it will be a good. It has been a good one so far. We'd be happy with the points. I think anyone would be happy away with the points, but Scotland are a dogged and determined side, and have not made it easy for England, but England should be ahead. They've missed two of the best opportunities of the match. And here they come again on the break with Luana, just to the left of the penalty area. Plays it infield here towards Dele Alli. Tries to play it on to Rashford, and again, good covering from the Scottish defence. They've really defended stoutly, Scotland. You can't fault them for that. And then Brown goes in there. Remember, he's got to be very careful. Anya now plays it in towards Brown in the middle. And opportunity knocks here for Scotland here as they come charging forward. And here's Lee Griffiths inside the English penalty area. He goes down. No, says the referee. Tells him to get to his feet, to the disappointment of about 50,000 Scottish supporters inside Hampden Park. And at the other end, here's Craig Gordon, coolly done. Just a nice. Emma Gray will get to you in just a second. We've got some real thrilling thrills and spells of action now as we come up towards 10 minutes gone in the second. 0-0 as comes charging forward again, looking for a way through. We'll have to look at the replay to see whether Lee Griffiths was actually fouled or not. But it was hard to tell from the naked eye whether that was a penalty or not, but we'll have a look at it again. But Scotland starting to boss things a little bit now as this second half comes towards the 10-minute old period. 9 minutes of the game, of the second half of already gone. And now the ball back with Craig Gordon. And it gives me a chance to say good evening to Emma, and I will give you a shout out. She's a Saints supporter. I think that's Southampton, but it's nice to have a female one as well. So good evening to you. So if we could have more females like you on, I'd be absolutely delighted. So yes, I'm glad that you've said hello. It's nice to have more females tuning in. But subscribe if you haven't already. We've got plenty of content to come. And of course we'll look to try and cover Southampton a bit more for you next season. We didn't cover them enough. I think we covered them a couple of times, and I think one of them turned out to be a 5-0 cup defeat to Arsenal earlier on in the season. So apologies for that one, but we'll try and see if we can get some Southampton commentaries in for you next season. Of course, the fixtures for the Premier League and the Championship all come out on Wednesday, so I'm sure Huddersfield fans will be. Huddersfield, Brighton, and certainly those two teams. Newcastle, they've been there many times before. But certainly with Brighton and Hove Albion and the Huddersfield fans, it'll be like Christmas coming early for them now. Sooner than they might have on the opening day. Will they be played at home in the Amex or the John Smith Stadium? Well, who knows. But one thing's for certain. They'll enjoy it, and his Lana cuts inside as the ball goes back. That's a poor ball towards Craig Gordon, it has to be said. Badly overhit there. We've played 56 minutes gone, and it's 0-0. And Panini says, I covered that game too, the 5-0 cup defeat. Well, here's the Lee Griffiths penalty shout. Now Walker was the challenge. Oh, I think Walker's got away with that one. I think Lee Griffiths I thought that was a penalty. I have to say, I'm English through and through, but I think Kyle Walker got away with one there. Meanwhile, free kick to Scotland. Foul there on MacArthur. I think that's a Scottish penalty, I have to say. I don't want to offend any Englishmen listening, but I think that's a penalty for Scotland. Looking at that replay again, I have to say that was definitely a free kick to Scotland. MacArthur there on MacArthur, and the ball forward and over the top it goes towards Lee Griffiths. Left hand side of the penalty area. Griffiths turns. Griffiths pulls it back. Andy Robertson, well, he landed up by foot and edge of the area and shoots over the top. What an opportunity for Andy Robertson of Hull City. And he couldn't take the opportunity. And that would have, I'll tell you what, if he'd have hit the target there and beaten Joe Hart and hit the bullseye, then Hampden Park would have been in raptures. Took a touch, it was the best. He couldn't have done it any better. He just needed to kill the ball a bit better, I think, and I think he might have had that opportunity. But it's still 0-0 as England go forward once again. And a chance here for Scotland again, and Lee Griffiths just couldn't get it out from under his feet, and it's hooked away once more. And this really is now beginning to come to the boil, and the goalkeeper came out, and Rashford was charging in there like a rhinoceros at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You could say orangutan if you go back to what Gordon Strachan said in the build-up. He said he'd rather be in an orangutan safari park than here. Here's Anya for Scotland, right hand side, tries to play down the right looking for Snodgrass, but it's well defended by Bertrand. Back to Joe Hart, and Hart kicks away halfway, but it's headed back by Scotland. Looking for Lee Griffiths, who could and possibly should have been given a penalty for him, because the challenge from Walker was a very dodgy one, I have to say. Might offend a few English folk, my fellow Englishmen, but I have to be honest, it did look a penalty kick. Still 0-0. Here's an opportunity now for Ali now as he finds Harry Kane, the England captain. Turns pirouette, finds Livermore. Livermore now has got Dyer in the middle. Ball intended towards Dele Alli, and Dyer with a no-nonsense chuckle, but the referee plays on. I think there's an advantage here, and Scotland can break with Lee Griffiths. Right-hand side, he's a bit isolated, mind you. There's 4 England defenders back against 2 or 3 Scottish. Now it's 4 against 4. And here's an opportunity now for Scotland. Shot over the top from Armstrong in a goal kick. From about 20 yards, he shot 25 yards. Armstrong shot it, and it's gone in for a goal kick. Not troubling the scorers from that range. A left-footed effort, but full marks to the referee. No, there was a foul, and has got the yellow card out to Eric Dyer. It was a late challenge there, and he misses the next England game. No, he misses the next qualifying game. Doesn't miss the French game because that's a friendly, of course. It was a foul here on MacArthur again. He's been in the walls a bit. First 15 minutes or so of the second half. So we're now played almost an hour. Scotland 0, England 0, and now in fact we have played that hour. So 0-0, sorry, and then we said 1-1. We haven't had a goal yet. Here's Anya now for Scotland, near side. Call as you like. Plays it infield to Snodgrass. Plays it back to Anya, who just hasn't got the pace on the likes of Ryan Bertrand, and Bertrand covers well. But Anya fights back, and bites back just twice as hard. Scotland 0, England 0. The Hampden Roar, says Panini. And the Hampden Roar, there may only be 50,000 inside that famous old ground these days, but it sounds like 80 to 100,000, like the old days of 30, 40 years ago when they used to have 125,000 people inside the stadium. They're right up for this one now, the Scots there, and they're getting right behind their team. They've had a good 10 minutes, last 10 minutes or so. Here's Anya now for Scotland, going first one, past another one, down the right hand side, crosses in towards the penalty area. A real chance there for Scotland, but again good defending, but Armstrong in to win the next one, but he can't keep it in play, and it will be a throw for England. But Scotland now turning up the power, turning up the heat on the English, and the Hampden Roar has given them a real 12th man advantage. Scotland 0, England 0 still, but what a game, what a game. One goal now could really lighten the whole place up, and I'll tell you what, if the Scots get it, well boy have they earned it. England know they've been in the game here tonight, that is for sure. Scotland 0, England 0 here at Hampden Park. 61 minutes gone, and what a game it has been. For a 0-0 it's been enjoyable, intriguing, and it's had everything you could possibly want. But so far, no change in the scoreline, as the Hampden Roar goes up to full volume once again. Here's Gary Cahill for England towards halfway. Now here's Bertrand playing it infield to Dele Alli. And he gets it back again, 1-2 with Adam Lallana. Lallana playing it out to the far side. There's Walker now charging forward. Walker. And now back again towards Eric Dyer. He's picked up a yellow card. Now Livermore's had a decent game so far for England. But it's he gets it back once again from Bertrand. And now he gets it to Dyer. Dyer deep, right in the centre of the field. As we go, as England now attack the right hand side. Almost over with the Scottish penalty area. Still 0-0. And still Dyer. Oh, he's lost it here, Eric Dyer. And then he's brought the man down. And remember, he's on a yellow card. He can't afford any mistakes here, Eric Dyer. Otherwise, the Italian referee may well have to send him off. So Eric Dyer's now got to watch his step. Because one more tackle like that on Lee Griffiths, and that could be a red card. He can't even. I don't think he can afford to complain. Scotland 0, England 0, and Griffiths on the chase from the free kick down the left-hand side, headed up, knocked away by Chris Smalling, but Scotland win the ball back. Brown has it on the far side. Scotland really having a go here. Good to see. Here's Brown now, cutting in from the left-hand side. Now tries to find Anya on the right. Can he find Anya? No, he can't. Throw to England. And a bit of respite for Gareth Southgate's men. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain about to enter the fray here, the Arsenal man. So England about to make a substitution here at Hampden Park. Scotland 0, England 0 in this World Cup Qualifier. England needing the win to keep a firm grip on top spot and automatic qualification. Scotland really need to win to keep themselves in with a chance of getting into those playoffs come the end of September when they take place in early October. Scotland 0, England 0. Brown wins it, but he finds it illegally. Just a free kick. He's also one of the players that now really has to watch his step. He's been on that last step since only the 3rd minute of the game. Dyer now playing it in there. He can't afford any mistakes either. But so far we haven't too many yellow cards as we'd have thought. But England about to make a change. And it's going to be their number 7 that's about to enter the fray. Leave the field. Marcus Rashford will be replaced by Chamberlain, who's a much more better lineman than what Rashford is. He should really be playing up front, Marcus Rashford. I don't agree with Gareth Southgate's reasoning behind that, but who are we to argue with the English manager? Scotland 0, England 0 is the score at the moment. Mistake, says Ashwin Mottram, taking Rashford off. We need more strikers on, not less. And Scotland about to make a change themselves. And England now really teetering here as Armstrong, I think, is... No, Armstrong isn't going to come off. I thought for a moment Armstrong wasn't. He's taking a drink there. Now who's going to come on here? And then who is it? Number 10, Robert Snodgrass is going to come off. Snodgrass is going to come off. He's had a decent game, the West Ham United man. Really has played well. Gets a good standing ovation. And Ryan Fraser now is going to come on. Fraser now comes on. Can he produce some magic here for Scotland? He's a very good player. And he also gets a very good ovation here, Ryan Fraser. It's 0-0, but I tell you what, it's been an absolute terrific blast here. Can Bertrand get the ball into the penalty? Here we go, another one by Kane, and a terrific save by the goalkeeper, and then the ball back in from the left-hand side. But Harry Kane is on 2 of the best chances, and this time a really super save from almost point-blank range, crossing from the left-hand side from Bertrand, and from 7 yards, maybe more than that. The header was goal-bound, but the goalkeeper made a smart save, even though it was straight at him. Good save by Craig Gordon. Best chance of the second half, and we've had to wait 21 minutes for that to happen. But I tell you what, Harry Kane normally for Tottenham would gobble them up, but he hasn't done so for England. The England captain has missed a couple of opportunities, big ones. Certainly that one. The one off the line was a half chance. He still had to chip it over the goalkeeper and 3 defenders on the line. This one, it was more an opportunity. And here comes Burton again. They're going to run down the left-hand side. Ball into the 6-yard box. Cleared away by Mulgrew. Corner. Or throw over to England. Almost level with the Scottish penalty area. Halfway, almost through the second half. And England now, all of a sudden, after soaking up a lot of Scottish pressure, are about to put some pressure on the Tartan Army themselves. Can they silence that Hampden roar? No, not on this occasion. The throw didn't quite work out for them. But let's go back to what's happening in the Champions Trophy cricket. And well, they are ahead on Duckworth Lewis, by the way. England at the moment. I don't know what's happening in the cricket thus far, but it's been a good day so far for England. They're still on 240 for 4, so the rain has still stopped play in the Champions Trophy cricket, but it looks as if the rain is setting in at Edgbaston, and it looks as if England are going to win anyway comfortably on Duckworth Lewis, and it means Australia will exit the competition in the Champions Trophy. That's in the cricket. Back in the football, it's still 0-0 here with 22 minutes to go, and Scotland have a free kick on the right hand side, and they really are cranking up the pressure on this English defence. They've had a good second half so far, the Scots. They've really given it their best shot, and Armstrong to take the free kick, right footed. England in a line, a red line, maybe trying to play the offside here. But I tell you what, Scotland are more than capable of shocking the opposition here once they... But Armstrong's free kick was a little bit disappointing. England defended that one very, very easily. And then a little bit of hesitance there in the Scottish defence by Tierney. And then the goalkeeper almost making an awful ricket then. And almost letting in Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. But it was Tierney really who made the bad error that almost cost Scotland dear there. But here come England now on the far side. Panini talking about the cricket. He wants India to win the trophy, but he thinks he wants India to win the trophy, but he wants England to win. I think England are the favourites. They are playing in their home country. But it's England still on the attack. Panini, don't give the score away, my friend. We're still a little bit behind you, remember. Here come England now. Can they get that opening goal? And that's a good running towards the penalty area. Still my chance here for Chamberlain. Chamberlain shoots, and it's gone right through the keeper and in. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has only been on the pitch for something like 5 minutes. He goes it in from the right hand side, and then the shot went right through Gray Gordon. He'll be disappointed, the Scotland goalkeeper, and the Hampden roar is absolutely silenced, and all you can hear now are English supporters rejoicing in sheer delight. England have been up against it for most of this second half, but Chamberlain has come on, started past one man, cut inside, deep inside the penalty area, gets his shot in, and that should have been saved by Craig Gordon. There's no doubt about it. Even Panini agrees with me there. Gets it off left-footed and straight through and in. That'll be disappointment for Craig Gordon, who seconds before pulled off a super save from Harry Kane. There's a little deflection, in fact, that may have just took it away from the Scottish goalkeeper, but even so, that should be being saved. 1-0 to England. 19 minutes to go, and that has really knocked the stuffing out of the Scots, who have really played tremendously well, have defended rather stoutly throughout this second half, but unfortunately it hasn't gone their way. The goalkeeper will be disappointed, of course. The problem with Craig Gordon is he doesn't get enough chances to perform top quality saves. The tire's gone off for Gordon Strachan. He knows that this is backs to the wall stuff now. The disappointment is etched on people's faces for all to see, but the England fans are absolutely delighted. We'll be on here until 7 o'clock tonight, but it's England now that a win here would really put them 1 foot into the World Cup next year, and Scotland, well, the agony of not qualifying for a major tournament since 1998 will continue for a long, long time. England claiming a pass back, but that surely came off the knee. Didn't come off the foot. And I think it was I don't think it was a proper pass back anyway. Batman Boss has come on and he says, I'm here. Well, good evening, Batman. Good evening to all of you, to everybody. We haven't, obviously, Mike Claret is coming back from Burnley, back to his home just outside London. And I'm sure he will comment in the comment section below if he isn't listening to the game already. He'll certainly listen to it later as Scotland come forward down the left hand side, but it's hooked away. Now Hania has it just to the left of the right of the D rather, about 25 yards from goal. Infield it goes to MacArthur. Scotland won't give up by any stretch. Here's Armstrong now. Shot will come in, hit the referee. Still definitely in England half, still deep inside England half, but now it's Dele Alli on the far side. Mulgrew to meet him. Dele Alli, right hand side, sorry. Brown surely took him out there. And remember, he's on a yellow card, of course. And the referee, will he take action here? Will he give Scott Brown a reprieve here? Oh, I tell you what, I think that's a yellow card. I have to say, that looks a yellow card, if not red. Brown has taken him there to the cleaners. I think Brown should be off the field. I think that's a red card. I have to say, I think that's a second yellow and a red card. But Brown is not being spoken to by the referee. Well, the referee there should be taking stronger action. There's a bit of cramp for one or two of the Scottish players, but Brown shouldn't be on the field. That was an unbelievably poor challenge by the Scottish captain, who, remember, had to walk a disciplinary tightrope for as long as the second minute when he picked up a yellow card for a similar challenge. And instead he should be off the field instead of giving treatment to a cramp player, a Scottish player that got cramp. Well, he can joke with the Italian official, but I think that's a yellow card. I think he's rather lucky there, Brown. That is a very, very crude challenge on Dele Alli. There's no getting away from it. He's a lucky man, the Celtic player. And I tell you what, on another day, that would have been a red. Sometimes I think you've seen it in the Premier League. You would have seen it as a red card offence, but it's still 0-0. But it's England winning by, it's England in fact winning by a goal to 0. A goal from Chamberlain. So England now trying to make it 2 with a quarter of an hour still to go. Batman says apparently Gray could be going to Newcastle. I don't think there's any truth in that as the free kick comes in, and it's over the top for a goal kick from Eric Dyer. He tried to head him it just to the right of the penalty spot. So quarter of an hour still to play. Scotland 0, England 1. Chamberlain with the goal, and he's intercepted the ball. That was a poor ball, and now he waits in the centre as the cross comes in from the left. Lallana with a header over the top, and that was a real opportunity just to the left of the penalty spot. He was about 7 or 8 yards out. Poor ball really by the Scottish defence. They've totally lost their bearings here. Brown with the error, in fact the initial error. The ball played back from the left hand side. Chamberlain with a lovely cross, and in the end over the top. Scotland still in the game. They've got to believe in themselves now for the next quarter of an hour or so that remains here tonight. If they can do that and get themselves an equaliser, maybe even sneak a winner, they're capable of doing so. They've got to get that Tartan army right behind them now, because if they don't, then I fear England could score another one and really put them out of misery. But England have soaked up the pressure well, and now they're starting to take command, and Chamberlain has made a real difference. Maybe Ashford Mottram was probably wrong. Well, it's been a good game, been really good. The second half's been a lot better, I have to say, admittedly, than the first. We've had more chances in it now than we did in the first, and that's a testament to both 22 players that are out there on the field. They've really tried to keep this game going, and the referee is trying to let it flow as much as he could. I don't think there'll be too much stoppage time, of course. Players are going down for cramp. It has been the end to a very long season at club level. Well, not for Celtic, who won the league by a long way. 30 points, in fact, in Scotland, which really does underline the lack of quality, the lack of depth in the Scottish leagues at the moment. No disrespect to them. I do think that it needs to be more of a level playing field with Burnley, but some of the traditional lights are back now next season. The likes of Burnley are back in the Scottish League, so we'll have the Edinburgh Derby in the top flight next season. As Wayne Griffiths tries the shot from just outside the area with his left foot, and wide of the target it went. I think he got a deflection, in fact. Let's have a look at it again from behind the goal. I'm just seeing it from behind the goal. No, just wide though. Didn't miss the near post by too much, but Joe Hart was confident that he would have had that covered in any case. But he's a dangerous customer, Lee Griffiths. We've seen that. He's scored something like 30 odd goals this season for Celtic, so he's there. He has a bit of a bad reputation off the pitch, so he certainly did. Came from a Burnian. And, well, it's still no. Come Gillingham finish. Gillingham would finish second in the SPL. It's a shame Gillingham is probably about as far away from Scotland as you could probably get. Oh, Panini comes up with some right old stuff. But we love him on this channel all the same. 12 minutes to go. Scotland 0, England 1 here at Hampden Park. World Cup Qualifier defeat would signal the end surely for Scotland's hopes of qualifying. Would certainly leave them hanging on by a fingernail as Anya wins the next ball. But it just shows the lack of quality, and, well, Anya's gone down there, and that's cramp. There was no bad challenger there. He knows they've run themselves ragged today, Scotland, without getting a great reward, and that's down to the lack of quality in the final third. And that proves, I mean, Lee Griffiths scores against very powder puff Scottish defences, and yes, 30 goals for Celtic is no mean achievement, but it's come at very very generous defences, including the Rangers one, as we see the Scottish. I mean, this is the goal again, and this is from Craig Gordon's viewpoint. He's in a good position there, and that should be savable. That's savable for me. You've just got to get something in the way of the shot here from Chamberlain as that gets it away. Now, does this deflect? Yeah, it just takes a slight deflection, but still, that needs saving. I think the goalkeeper should have done better than that. Chamberlain has really made the difference. He's coming on. Good skills to get inside the box and get the shot in the first place. But he was helped by a goalkeeper, and should have saved it. 12 minutes to go. England winning by a goal to 0 against the Scots. He'll be disappointed. That mistake could cost them their World Cup chances here. Well, England have led before at Hampden Park. Remember 1976? Shannon put England in front. Then Don Masson equalised for Scotland not long after. And then Kenny Dalglish putting one under Ray Clemens' legs at the same end, of course, as Craig Gordon made his mistake, which gave Scotland a 2-1 victory. That was in a home international tournament. This is more than a home international tournament. This is the World Cup qualifiers. And it's good to have the fixtures back. And I think it would be nice to see Scotland and England drawn again. It would be nice to see an all British qualifying group. That would be something to behold, and we could have the old international championships back as a World Cup qualifying stage. Now that would be something spectacular, but I doubt in a million years that would happen again. Berry now goes down in this cramp here, and well, it's been that sort of afternoon. The sun has now come out at Hampden Park. There's a change in progress for the Scots. 10 minutes to go, and it's Anya that's going to come off, Kechi Anya, and Chris Marding will come on, the Derby County man who's been playing at Fulham this season. But he knows what to do in these situations. He's an experienced campaigner. Panini 2-0 at Wembley 99, Euro 2000 playoffs at Hampden. 2-0. That was the European Championships and Euro 96, of course. Just to bring you up to date, I'm just going to bring you up to date with the cricket. Whilst we've got a little bit of a breaking play. Azerbaijan 0, Northern Ireland 0. That is a later score. Denmark winning against Kazakhstan. And England have knocked out Australia. England have gone through. The result has come. They've won on Duckworth Lewis. England, as Craig Gordon has the ball for Scotland. So England have knocked Australia out of the ICC Champions Trophy in the cricket on Duckworth Lewis. So it means that Australia are out of the tournament. And England, who were already through to the semi-finals, having won 2 out of 2 against Bangladesh and New Zealand earlier this week, are now assured of we were already assured, but they've continued a very good run of form and have beaten Australia on Duckworth Lewis. As Scotland now looking to try and get lower with Lee Griffiths inside the penalty area, but scuffs his shot well wide of the target. In fact, he scuffs it towards the corner flag, and with 8 and a bit minutes to go, it's still Scotland 0, England 1, and England now about to make their final substitution of the evening. Scotland have already made their final change. Daylayed is about to come off. I think at 1-0 is still a precarious lead, but Raheem Sterling is still a decent player. However much we may have thought of him in the Euros last year, when he really didn't perform to his highest level, when he was criticised a lot in the media, and Daniel Sturridge had to stick up for him. But at the moment, he's walking his way off. The Australian is, I think Panini trying to do an Australian accent. Oh, Striff, the Poms have knocked us out. What will the Aussies be saying? Well, the rain has helped England there in that one, but they were going to win anyway. Ben Stokes did manage to get his 102 before the rain stopped everything there. But terrific performance from England. 3 wins out of 3. And now they go into the semi-finals of that trophy, Champions Trophy, full of confidence, full of belief. Earlier on, the British and Irish Lions won their final match before they take on New Zealand, beating the Crusaders. And of course, it's tomorrow. There's sport tomorrow. We've got the French Open final, Nadal against Stan Wawrinka, who's been runner-up last year to Novak Djokovic. And then there's the Republic of Ireland in action, and then of course a big one tomorrow night, Serbia versus Wales. That's a big game for Wales. A win would really give their qualification chances a real boost. A defeat could put them out of the World Cup. That's how crucial a game this really is for Wales. And still 1-0 to England, and there's a couple of England and Scotland players down at the moment. Well, clash of heads there by Cahill and another Scottish player there. I couldn't tell who it was, but I tell you what, 5 minutes to go, and still 5 or 6 minutes to go. It's a Scottish free kick, and I tell you what, if the roof will lift off Hampden Park big time if this goes in the back of the net. And Lee Griffiths is over this one, so too is Charlie Mulgrew. And I think Lee Griffiths might fancy this one. There's no doubt about it. He's been a bit off the target today. Griffiths maybe with his left foot perhaps. Joe Hart making sure that wall is secure. Well, who do you fancy? Armstrong with the left foot or Griffiths with the Armstrong with the right foot, Griffiths with the left? Who's it going to be? 30 yards dead central. 5-man England wall. 25 yards from goal. And it's Lee Griffiths with the left foot, and it's gone in! 1-1! And the Hampden Roar is roaring again! And Scotland are equalised! And Lee Griffiths must be the most happiest man in the country of Scotland! What a goal from the Celtic man! Terrific free kick! And we've got ourselves a last 3.5 minutes to savour! Scotland 1, England 1, and the whole place erupts! And England have only themselves to blame. They've made substitutions thinking that the game was won at 1-0, but never discount Scotland. They can come up with moments of magic like that. A terrific left-footed 30-yard free kick from Lee Griffiths of Celtic has given The Scots lift off now, and if they win, if they've got themselves back in this game, I'll tell you what, we've got the last 4 minutes to savour now. 1-1 at Hampden Park, and Gordon Strachan, oh, he must be the most relieved man in the stadium. But Scotland have earned that, and England have only themselves to blame. And it kills me as an Englishman to say it, but Scotland have deserved it. 1-1. The Tartan Army are right behind them now. 1-0 to England it was, and now 1-1 with 90 seconds, with a couple of minutes and a half to go. Lee Griffiths is the Scottish hero. The Scottish fans are buzzing. The Scottish fans are jumping. And it's 1-1. We'll be with you until about 5 to 7 tonight. As soon as the game's finished, we'll be coming off the air. But Scotland now could win it. On they go, get another free kick again. Another free kick to Scotland, fouled by Livermore. And again, it's another free kick. And will it be Lee Griffiths or will it be Armstrong? 2 minutes to go. Scotland have another free kick, and if this goes in, it'll be pandemonium here at Hampden Park. They won't have seen like this for years. I'll tell you what now, England will be absolute. Every Englishman in the country now will be absolutely on the edge of his seats now, looking away. Lee Griffiths is up behind this one, and you can bet your bottom dollar he's got unfinished business. Will it be Armstrong again with the right foot, or Griffiths again with the left foot? Well, if Griffiths knocks this one in, well, the Scots will be flying into heaven and back. Will it be Armstrong? The Bravehearts pray, and English supporters offering prayers themselves, and they want to get out of this with a point. We've played 89 minutes now. What a moment this could be. Griffiths with the left foot over the wall. He's in! I can't believe it! Scotland have turned it around and have beaten England surely. Lee Griffiths is the Scottish hero, and you know what? They've deserved it. England have only themselves to blame, and England have messed up in the royalest of manners. They deserve it, the Scots. They've battled and battled and battled and battled, and they've deserved surely their victory. It's 2-1 to Scotland. Joe Hardigan, hand to prayer, and Lee Griffiths will write himself all over this great, great fixture. He sinks to his knees and kisses the sky, and kisses the bench of Scotland, and the whole place has liftoff here. It's a throwback to the olden days here at Hampden Park. A beautiful left-footed free kick, and my word, it's Scotland who have the glory. 3 points that are so precious, so sacred, so needed for Scotland. And it's like Northern Ireland 2005 revisited for England. That is for sure. They were one up and coasted, it seemed, but Gordon Strachan's men hung in there and now have got their reward. It pains me to say it as an Englishman, but Scotland have deserved it. It's Scotland 2, England 1, 400 minutes to be added on. We've had 30 seconds of those. What a dramatic finish here at Hampden Park. But for England, Gareth Southgate, what have you done, son? Why take your best players off at 1-0? Score a second one, then take your best players off. That question has to be asked. There will be serious questions asked of Southgate and the substitutions and England's discipline in the final few minutes. They weren't professional enough to see it out. Now they're playing for a point. They can't win the game now, surely. There's not enough time left in the game for that. Joe Hart's free kick towards the English penalty, towards the Scottish penalty area, and in fact, it's a corner kick, I think, to England. Scotland dispute the decision. In fact, it's a free kick to England. Sorry, I'm getting so excited here now. But can England save themselves? This is the question now. They've got a free kick nearer what Lee Griffiths scored the 2 goals with, and I tell you something. This would be something very, very special if England were to pull this one out the bag. Craig Gordon will be the most relieved man, but it's Eric Dyer, Kyle Walker and Murray Bertrand over the free kick. It's about just over 17 yards, about 20 yards out from goal. Who's going to fancy this? Dyer with the right foot, perhaps. Eric Dyer scored a great free kick in that 1-1 draw with Russia, remember, in the Euros last year. I think it's going to be Dyer with the right foot, you know. 20 back for Scotland. It's going to be decoy now for Eric Dyer. Great save by the goalkeeper. And then the ball away by Tierney. And now Scotland on the counter-attack. Can they get Griffiths forward? No, they can't. We're halfway through the 4 minutes. Just over, in fact. Now England needs to pump it into that penalty area. They found Kane. And they scored. Harry Kane has made it 2-2. Oh, would you believe it? 3 goals in the last 5 minutes. And Scotland, who looked as if they were heading for glory, have had it cruelly snatched away by Harry Kane in England. It's 2-2. And my word, I have completely and utterly lost my voice here. And England have responded in the grandest of manners with 90 seconds of stoppage time to play. Good crossing from the left-hand side, and Kane on the volley. Back post. They claimed offside. It wasn't. And Harry Kane has saved England's skin here at Hampden Park, and they may well escape with a precious point. And Southgate, well, he's got away with it, that's for sure. But a lovely crossing from the far side. But oh, Lee Griffiths sinks to his knees. A minute ago it was joy, now it's despair for the Celtic man. 2-2, 30 seconds to go, but Scotland can be proud of themselves. They may well come again and score a winning goal here. Livermore has gone off, by the way. Final England change. Jermaine Defoe is on. Ball pumped into the area. Joe Hart having to fist it away. It's a corner. And Scotland may not be finished just yet. Have we got one more final twist in the tail? Gordon Strachan, well, he looks gun-faced. So too do 50,000 other Scots at the moment. I don't think it is. I think there's a foul on the goalkeeper, and I think that's it. No, it's a free kick. In fact, I was getting ahead of myself. But what a finish to this game! And it's been an absolute privilege. I said the first half was always dull, but the second half's always good one. As the clearance is good, we're still playing on with 21 seconds here over the 4 minutes, and the referee still will add on more time, purely and simply for the goals. It took an eternity for Scotland to get back to the centre circle for the restart after their goal. But there goes the final whistle. What a game here at Hampden Park. What a dramatic game. Scotland was so close to a famous victory over England, who led for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain early in the second half, around about the hour mark. But then 2 quick-fire free-kick goals from Lee Griffiths, one in the 90th minute. Looks as if they'd won it for Scotland, but then deep into stoppage time, Harry Kane with a super volley at the back stick, making it 2-2. What a super match. England have won in the Champions Trophy against Australia. They go through. The British and Irish Lions have beaten the Crusaders early on in the rugby, and it's ended 2-2 in one of the best England-Scotland matches I can remember for many a long year. I hope you very much enjoyed it on the JB Claret YouTube channel. We have to go now, but thank you very much indeed for watching a terrific battle between 2 blood and thunder sides. England fought, they were cruising to a 1-0 victory, but then Scotland hitting back with those 2 quick free kick goals from Lee Griffiths, and then Harry Kane saving England's brushes at the end. What a game of football, what a second half, a point apiece. And Scotland will feel justifiably hard done by. But England stuck in there and came back from the dead and have got themselves a point. Thank you very much for everyone who's contributed to the stream tonight, including Panini and 1 or 2 others. Thank you very much. We'll hopefully see you sometime for another commentary, possibly in midweek, to finish the season off. But for me, JB, thank you very much for watching. You'll hear from me very soon. Have a good Saturday evening. And for me, JB, a very good night to you all. From Hampden Park, Scotland 2, England 2. It's finished here. A point apiece in the World Cup Qualification, and a great match and a great finish as well. From me, JB, good night.